Hi, my name's Nicola Timlin. I'm known as Holly, and I'm going to talk about my targeting. I'm a targeted individual in Katanning, Australia. I am targeted by electronic devices. It is physical and neuro electronic and surveillance monitoring. The monitoring is done via the Optus C1 satellite, which is a $19.5 million deal between Singtel Optus Asia and Australian Defence. Now, this Optus C1's been decked out with net-centric warfare, integrated broadcast systems, COTS. It's got everything going for it. Now, when you are a targeted individual, you are dealing with technology that cannot be seen. So as a person trying to tell other people about technology being used on them is very hard for people to understand if it cannot be seen. So the only way I can put it in a way that anyone that's never been targeted with an electronic weapon satellite, it's more or less you have your own personal radio station. That's the only way you can put it. You're the only one that can hear it. So when you are targeted with these devices, it's very hard to prove. Now, in my case, however, I've been targeted for the last 20 years by being in Katanning. I have found the Optus C1 satellite, and I've looked further into my community because my targeting isn't just via satellite. My targeting is very much medical research, and a lot of that can be done via the IEE Wireless Body Area Network, which is, it's called a virtual surgeon. Once again, you're dealing with something which your average person's mind cannot understand. However, this platform is set up. It's known as the Wireless Body Area Network. It's pretty well established in West Australia. Edith Cowan University, they have forensic readiness for wireless medical technology. So anyway, like I said, my targeting in Katanning. Since being targeted, I've contacted the Australian Defence, I have contacted the Australia-Asia Defence, I have contacted Human Rights, I have contacted the National Human Medical Research Council, who they've told me to contact Defence, but like I said, I have contacted Defence quite a few times. All my mail is registered and requiring delivery confirmation. These establishments choose to break the law when it comes to mail and don't sign delivery confirmation. But when you're me, you jump up and down to the post office. Trust me, you get packing slips or you get proof that the government, that Defence, that Human Rights got your letter one way or the other. Okay, now, targeting via a satellite. Like I said, the Optus C1. That's one thing to say, that's attacking me. Okay, Katanning, ground floor, up close and personal. Yes, I have defence projects on ground floor. These projects are land, sea and air. They are MilSatCom. In the real world, not the covert world, I actually do have total proof of my targeting. I have cyber, land, sea and air bases in the sky and on ground floor in Katanning. Now, from what I've researched, legally, cyber battlefield, so to speak, can be brought down to an urban environment. where civilians and their property are not meant to be damaged. Now, my property's been damaged, my kids have been damaged, and I've been damaged. And the Australian Defence choose to ignore me. Now, legally, they might think they're covered by the EU, but when it comes to the treatment of prisoners, when it comes to the medical, and when it comes to everything else, we're at the Geneva Convention, and Australia was there about, 10 years ago with all this? But the government still chooses to ignore me. Okay, from here, even though I've already got them legally, there's more going on in Katanning, which is of an area of concern, and that is the simulations that have taken place. Now, Peter Campbell, why in his capacity working at Argonne National Lab in America, did a 3-year contract with CSIRO for complex landscape systems, agent-based modelling, you name it. Then he comes back to Australia. That CSIRO modelling for landscape, that's Katanning. He did it for Katanning. Then he goes down to Wollongong University at the Smart Infrastructure Facility. Well, it's actually Cloud Computer, Smart Infrastructure Facility, the Internet of Things. So he goes running down there, and before I know it, there's SimCat, Katanning's virtual lab. Now, this Katanning's virtual lab goes back to Defence Science Technology Organisation's Complexity System Science. And the one name attached to that is a Dr. Matthew Berryman, of course, at Smart Infrastructure, Wollongong. After Peter Campbell did that first simulation, the next simulation that comes from it is an area of concern. Now this one, it's got people in context, but I'm going to put Holly, I'll put my name. Holly. Holly in context. The word living's not there. It actually says people in context. Critical social dimensions in complex landscape systems. So, Holly living in critical social dimensions in complex landscape systems. Our power's been simulated, our town's been simulated, our power's been simulated, emergency airways have been simulated. Our radio frequencies have American Air Force have dibs on Katanning's radio frequencies. We have a repeater, a microwave repeater station sitting up on the hill behind us. Who's got dibs on that? Does that work with the radio frequencies? And do remember Katanning on the outskirts have a wireless radio station and a normal radio station, which the normal one happens to be the oldest one in the wheat belt. So that's my targeting in Katanning. Bye.